Today I'm going to cook a quick recipe for lunch. What I'm doing today is taking a cheap cut of meat which is called cube steak. I got this on sale. It's only $3.17 for the whole thing. So we're going to make the cube steak, masala cube steak. And I've got a few ingredients which is going to be used for that. Starting, I have one whole onion. It's a red onion. I have one potato. Again, this is red potato. Now my onion and potato just are red because I have red at the time being. So if you have a yellow onion, a white onion, a red, blue, green potato, all works. I've got one whole tomato and a bunch of green onions. Now the reason I have that is because this was in my fridge. I figured I'll go ahead and use that. And I have some yogurt with that. And in my dry ingredients up here, I've got two whole dry spice. One is called star anise, and in Hindi this is called chakri fool. So this is how this looks. And the second one is black cardamom. It's kali ilaichi. This you can find at any Indian grocery store. And in my other dry ingredients, I've got salt, I've got haldi, which is turmeric, I've got cayenne pepper, which is lal mirch, I've got pisa hua dhania, that's grind coriander seeds, and grind cumin seeds, pisa hua jeera, and then I have whole cumin seeds. This thing is whole, of course that's the grind thing of the same thing. So this is all the ingredients you need. So let's go and get started on cooking the dish. Now to start our dish, we're going to first have the potato boiled. I'm going to show you a quick, easy way of how to boil a potato without water. So let's do that. I've got my potato already rinsed, so it's got some moisture on it. I'm going to take a plastic bag of any kind, a grocery bag, and just fold it a little and throw it in my microwave for 5 minutes. That's all it takes, 5 minutes. While this is getting boiled or cooked, we're going to start on an onion. Of course, I've got my pan on medium high, so we're going to get that started and throw in some oil. Again, this is vegetable oil. This is about, I would say, 3 tablespoons, 3.5 tablespoons of oil. Now while this is done, what I'm going to take about 3 black cardamoms and 1 star anise, and I'm going to drop this in the oil. Now what I'm doing is just flavoring my oil with the aroma and the scent and the taste of that whole spice. I am not going to leave that in because you don't want that coming in your mouth while you're eating. So while that is doing, we're going to go ahead and just make sure the oil is warm enough, and this gets a little roasted in the oil. The purpose of the whole cardamom and the star anise is done. They have infused the oil with the aroma and the taste. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just pull this out. So that just comes right off from there. And now the first thing I'm going to add into that is my whole jeera, which is the whole cumin seed. And I'm going to take about half a teaspoon of that, and that goes in that. And as soon as you put in there, you'll see how it starts crackling up and starts browning. So this is what you're looking for. That just tells you your oil is nice and warm. Now goes my onion in there. So the onion goes in there. And give it a stir. Now you saw that this time I'm not using any garlic ginger paste. Now that is optional. The reason I'm not using that is I want to show you that there are different ways of doing it without using ginger and garlic on every Indian dish, without using the green chilies. So those I have skipped, but definitely you can use it, will enhance the taste a little more. So that is fine. While that is doing, I'm going to go ahead and cut my steak up. Now for cutting the steak up, it's fairly simple. I'm going to just line all this together because what I'm looking for is just even pieces on that. So I'm going to just go ahead and give it a quick chop on that and turn around my board so I have even square pieces on that. And this steak is cut while my onion are still getting nice and sweaty in there. I'm going to throw my steak in with that. The onion was there for about about a minute while I was cutting this. So the steak goes in there. And what you're doing is now just roasting this steak a little. As I've handled the meat, so what I'm going to do is move my board here and quickly rinse my hands off. Like I said, when you're handling meat, you always need to make sure that you're taking some precautions. So I've got my meat roasting in there with the onions. And while this is doing, I'm going to go ahead and cut my green onions. Few rough chops on that. Okay, the green onions are done, and they can take a fairly rough chop, so you don't have to be precise on how you cut it. As you can see, the green onion is done. I'm going to take a look at the meat again. Yeah, that's getting nice and brown. What you're looking for is browning this meat a little. So once you get that brownness, all the red's taken out of that, what you need to do is add your spices. The very first spice I'm going to throw in is salt, and I'm taking about 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Just to let you know, the meat was about 1.6 pounds, so it's about half a kg in kg. About half a teaspoon of turmeric, about half a teaspoon of, I would say 3/4 a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, because I like hot. Now it's up to you. If you like less heat, please use quarter, half, it's up to you. And my coriander powder, and this is 1 heaped teaspoon. So use the heaped teaspoon of coriander powder in it. And about half a teaspoon of cumin powder. Mix that up. So that's getting mixed, and the meat is nice and brown. I'm going to cut my tomatoes. So my tomatoes will be cut into this size pieces. So here's the tomato, which is cut, and you can see I'm mixing that with my green onions because they are both going to go in the pan at the same time, so you can mix them both. While this is still roasting, again I'm looking for that separation of oil to the meats. In the meantime, my potato is fully boiled, as you can see. Okay, here's the potato. It's all boiled and ready to go in. Now my meat is done. If you look at it, the separation of the oil and the meats and all is perfectly there. Now this is the time when my potatoes, my tomato and my green onion is going in there. So all of that goes in there at one time. And I'm going to do a quick mix of this. I'm going to add the yogurt once that is mixed in. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what I've done is 4 teaspoons of yogurt in it, or you can say 2 tablespoons of yogurt. You mix all that up, and this is what you're looking for. Once you have mixed everything up, you'll see your potatoes and all in there. You're going to shut that down and reduce your heat to, now this is the electric stove, so I'm on 3, so I would say low high, so little more than your low, this is where you want. So shut it down and leave this for about 10 minutes on that low heat. 10 minutes, that's all it takes. After 10 minutes you're going to open that, and it's going to be a wonderful dish which will come out for you to enjoy. Up for about 15 minutes, so we're going to open this and check and see how it's doing. And this looks perfect. Let's go ahead and serve it. There we go. So that's what your end result is. Cube steak with the Indian style with potato in it, and please enjoy.